Hi.
Yes, good morning. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I'm just recording the thing.
Yep.
So yeah, thank you for coming. So okay, we're going to talk about the subject of
Yep.
uh bone conditioning
Yep.
and some body conditioning. So maybe if you would like to give a brief introduction about yourself, about so for people to know more about you.
I think I come from a complicated background. I think started. I started karate in I think when I was 15. I was 15, and I did a at the moment at that time I didn't know, but I trained in a Kyokushin style, full contact style. But I had no idea about karate at the time. There's just a friend who introduced me, says, "Do you want to come and train?" I said, "Sure," and I trained there for quite a number of years, doing the grading and stuff. Only afterwards did I realize that it was actually a Kyokushin linked related style. And then I did that, and then I at school I had a teacher who was also teaching karate, Shotokan karate, and I trained with her. And then there was another teacher there as well at school. This at high school, and he was doing Kempo, American Kempo. So I did a bit of that. I did a bit of the Shotokan, and then at university I continued. At university, I continued. There was no Shotokan there was no karate club at university. There was Taekwondo, so then I went to do Taekwondo for a couple of years, and then during university I went to Germany, still doing. I found Shotokan club and I continued Shotokan there. Came back and then met. Then there was a karate club at the university, led by Stephen Chan, and then I joined that club and started. He was I think he was like a 6th dan, 7th dan Shotokan karateka, and also an Okinawan karate teacher. So I trained with him, and for us throughout the last part of my university, maybe about 2 or 3 years, I did a master's there as well. So I got my knee dan, my 2nd dan through Stephen Chan. I also trained with semi-contact sparring, competition tournament sparring with Wayne Otto, who's like a 9 times world champion. So I did that as well. So a lot of like Shotokan and semi-contact karate tournament fighting during university years. And after university, I still continued with Shotokan, with Stephen Chan, with Wayne when I was in England. I left England in '97. I went to China, did a little bit of throughout that 1 year I was there. I did Yang style Tai Chi and Chen style Tai Chi, and I think I was more interested in Chen style because the way it was quite practical. So that's there's like 30 years ago. Then I left China, went to Hong Kong, still continued Shotokan. Then after a few years working, I went to Singapore, and that's where I continued. There was a Shotokan, but the dojos that I saw on the internet, and I saw Shitoryu at McNeil Road in Singapore. So I joined Shitoryu because of the resources they had. They had a full-time dojo. They had lots of equipment, nice area, nice dojo. So I joined them and continue with Shitoryu Karate and semi-contact tournament fighting, and represented Shitoryu Singapore internationals and also Asia Pacific tournaments. And then I met Chris, our mutual friend, Chris DeWet, and he was Okinawan Goju, and also full contact karate and MMA and lots of other stuff. So I started training with you guys. Well, we kind of, I didn't find, there was an organization we called SMARS that you joined as well, Singapore Martial Arts Research Society, and that's it's like a MMA, mixed martial arts, standing up on the ground, mixed, fighting for 2 hours basically between different types of stylists, from judo to kung fu to karate to whatever. People who like just want to fight, spar, and learn. So we did that, and I started also training with Chris at his house doing Okinawan Goju, and also some full contact karate as well. And that's when I kind of started understanding what I say is like maybe real karate to me. And I remember one time our mutual friend Joseph, the German Shotokan guy, was training with me as well, Shitoryu, and also with Chris. And we, one day after maybe a few weeks training Chris, we went back and Joseph said to me, you know, Cam, it feels like the last decade of training, it seems as though we were training Mickey Mouse karate. And only now we understand what the real karate is through Chris Duet. So I kind of, in my mind, I switched from my previous arts to Okinawan Goju. So that was Singapore, and then came back to Hong Kong, and I continued with my own training, Okinawan Goju, and I also did some Shitoryu as well in Hong Kong, and the teacher in Hong Kong, Shitoryu teacher in Hong Kong, introduced me to a full contact dojo, one of his associates, Sensei Chat, and then I went there, trained there, and I've been training there at the full contact dojos for over 20 years now. So competed at national Hong Kong full contact tournaments a number of times, and then and also continued my Okinawan Goju, going to Okinawa, training with Chris when I see him, and then inviting Okinawan Goju stylists over here and other stylists as well to train with me, and I've been doing that for the last 20 years or so. Yeah, so my I think in all my training it's about 40 years now. Yeah, and so that's my
Wow.
complicated history.
No, it's very inspiring, because a lot of people who do martial art normally 5 years, 10 years, and then they quit because of work commitment, because of family, you know. But
Yeah.
the way I know you is, you have been doing this, and though doing it such regularly and so committed. I've been just thinking that that was really something I can learn from you, because I don't commit as much as you. So it's really very inspiring. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm committed as other people. I think a lot more people more consider me, put more time than me, and a lot more people better than me. So yeah.
It's always someone like better than us. It's like, you know, like I know you for like 20 over years,
Yeah.
and we knew each other in March in Singapore back then.
Yeah.
And every Sunday we just sweated out for like 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm always the one that walk home with a bruise and limping.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. That was one of the greatest moment of my life, the happiest moment of my life, you know. And it feels so nice. And when I came to Australia, it was like a part of me was lost, and
Yeah.
it was quite, took me a while to adjust to it.
Yeah. I
And
think we both started when we went back. You went to Australia, I went to Hong Kong, and we both tried to restart that SMART idea in our respective countries. You in Australia and me in Hong Kong. I think for me, I also got people to do that kind of training, and I think it opened people's eyes to training not just within your style but outside your style, and understanding um, I think something that's what Chris when he created this Mars in Singapore. His idea was that you always you always have people better than you. You always learn things, and always and when you learn things, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work for you, and so but you adapt so that it
you just got to find it.
Yeah, so that's what
You just got to find it.
that's what Smarts is good at. I think.
You are good because like you went back to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
To create Hong Kong Smarts. I went back to Australia. We did Australian Smarts, and it was quite good. And that was like I stopped that more than 10 years ago. So
yeah.
Well, and I think one of the things that I'm really impressed by you is that I can see that you are very active, that you have to juggle between your family, your work, and your karate training is like how many times? 2 times, 3 times, more than that. I think it's like a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, man. It's really not easy, you know. And it's really not easy, man. It's really I'm trying to get back to it into the game. It's like I'm trying to be more active training because I feel that like it's time that we need to invest in ourselves to do things that we love, we are passionate about, and not just keep working hard and and then in the end we leave this world with regret.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But I think
and,
I think I don't look at it as people stop training. Or for me, I'm as I said, I'm not 100% committed like some other teachers and some other people that I know. So and always, I think karate is always, or martial arts training always like a trough, then like a crest of waves, and then it troughs, and then it peaks, and that's all fine because sometimes because of work, family, whatever, or illness, or injuries, you don't train as much. That's fine. And then sometimes it goes high, and sometimes go low because of work, commitments, other things. And I think as long as, because you look at short term, it looks like, oh, you're stopped. You look at long term, you actually have continued. It's just that the curve is never, there's always a curve. It's not a straight line. It's never always going up. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. And I think that's fine. It's not something to go, oh, I'm not training hard or whatever, because we people have lives. We're not all like some great masters like Higo Sensei, who's like 100% determined, drops everything. No one can do that anymore in this modern age.
Yes, with all those challenges and all those barriers that you mentioned, I think what I have learned is I try to incorporate martial art or kung fu into my daily life. Okay, and not just physically training, and try to use it. I've learned. I mean, it took me a long time. It's just like it took you a long time to mention that it took you a while to understand real karate. It also took me a long time as well, maybe 20 years. I thought we know, but actually we know that we realize that there's actually more things that we do not know. And also it took me a long time to say, okay, I could do this. I could put it in my relationship. I could put it in my the principles of martial art. We could put it in our relationship, in our work, and the way we talk to people. It took me a long time because if you know me for 20 years, I have great failings with relationships. So I think this is something that I'm trying to actually improve, work on it for the last few years. Okay. So Okay, so briefly, just thank you for your introduction. It was really very extensive training, and and you're very experienced, and and I can see that you are a people person, which you are able to rally a lot of people around you, and I'm one of them that is attracted to you.
Yeah.
so so I'm not good in this, but this is something that I really like about you. Okay. As I said, I started at 16 years old learning Shaolin, Lohan Shaolin in Singapore,
Yeah.
in Chuan Ling Temple.
Yeah.
So uh all my years have been doing kung fu. It's only later on in life I pick up judo or wrestling
Mm.
and BJJ because there is some shortcoming in my style.
Yeah.
So ultimately I'm still a kung fu man,
Yeah.
where I learned Chinese medicine from my kung fu training
Yeah.
and how to heal my body. And I'm very grateful for the experience because I have a good teacher that I did not realize that he is
Mm.
actually such a big name in Singapore back then.
Yeah.
You know, so I was really regretful that I did not really learn enough from him while he's still alive. That was
Yeah.
really, but I'm still trying, but I'm very lucky in the sense that I have people like you, guys like Mars, like you see Joseph, I know him as well as Chris, and Big Dan,
Mm.
who else? Some of the kickboxing guys, all those people that we train every Sunday,
Yeah.
and then went back to Australia. I met certain master like my current Tai Chi master, some of my good friends in Tai Chi, So these are the people that actually teach me what I do not know.
Mm.
So as I said, that's like you said, we continue to learn and be humble, and there is always someone better than us. That's really true. So when I
Yeah.
first got my third dan, my shifu actually told me this. He said, just because you get your third dan doesn't mean that you are done.
Yeah.
You feel if one day is someone better than you has something to offer you, then you have to put down your dan and start all over again and start to learn without throwing away what you know
Mm.
and try to merge it. And that is the difficult part. It's really hard. It took
Mm.
me a long time. Like for Tai Chi, I've been learning Tai Chi since 2015. I spent so much money, so much effort. And it took me until 2018 to know what I'm really doing.
Mm.
And manage only after like 2020 I'm able to slowly merge it into
Mm.
judo, into my lohan, and that is really like I feel that okay that I'm like 56 years old. I just started only my journey around 52, 53. It's like okay, I'm a late starter.
Mm.
you
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, okay then okay. May I also get you to start on this? Like what you have a question for?
Uh, um, was that uh, the conditioning, right?
Yeah.
Conditioning. I think I want to talk about conditioning, and conditioning to me encompasses certain things. Uh,
Mm,
for example, body conditioning, general body conditioning could be anything from like doing exercises that help to increase your stamina, to build
mm,
strength.
mm,
Uh,
mm,
these are conditioning. The other conditioning is
mm,
to harden your bones,
mm,
uh,
mm,
so that
mm,
um, when you're in a situation where you're fighting either sport kind of fighting environment or self defense environment, um, uh, hopefully that's you're protecting yourself against serious injuries. That kind of conditioning. So that's my understanding of conditioning. I don't know
mm,
what yours
mm.
is. Who it comes through.
Okay. Um, I agree with you. Okay, I agree with you with the way that you just say is conditioning is a way that we actually train to prevent us from getting serious injury.
Yeah.
And a lot of people train conditioning is to allow themselves to get serious injuries.
Mm.
So I think some of the perception has to be changed a bit. So we train conditioning under controlled environment. So even if we do get injured, we know that we can heal it, we can treat it. You know, it's just like back burning. It's like we burn. You know, in summer in Australia we have forest fire, bush fires, and so what these firemen do is that they burn part of it in those fire prone area and put out the fire before it gets worse. So it's the same thing with martial art training. So conditioning is very important in all martial art, but that was especially great emphasis in the old school.
Yeah.
I think it's like you and me, we belong to the old school, you know, and there are also people in the older school that they really place emphasis. But if I see there's a shift between modern times, that the younger generation are not placing enough of this conditioning and focusing more on technique. I'm not saying technique is bad, but in Chinese martial art, in Kung Fu, we call that conditioning, we call that a Gong. So we say that, can I say in Mandarin?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know how to say Cantonese, sorry. But, 一天不练功, okay, 到老一场空. So what is trying to say that if one day you don't practice your gong, when you are old, it's empty. That means you are in vain. Your effort is nothing.
Yeah.
So I think it's like you guys, you do a lot of conditioning, you do makiwari, and you do the weight resetting, and then sorry, what you call that again?
There's the stone mallet.
Under Udo, right?
Yeah, so like a stone or some
yeah.
and then a stick, that's a chi ishi, and then the other one was like a jar, and that's for gripping. That's nigiri game and nigiri game. Yeah, so we got in the Okinawan Karate we have something called Hojo Undo. So supplementary exercises.
That is very important.
Yeah, the only thing is that these are new, as it were. They're definitely quite old, but they're not new because it's not new. It's not something that's particular to even karate. Some of these things are actually from China as well. Some of these equipment. It's not. It's like stone locks, like those videos of Chinese.
The old school. Yeah.
Old people just go in the park and then they're throwing the stone locks around, throwing it to each other and catching it. These things are I think they're restricted to just Okinawan Karate, but they're useful because I think they're useful as a conditioning device because it rather than I always try to explain to people coming up to the rooftop to train me. And they go to gym, and gym is fine because gym has certain equipment to help you build strength safely. So you're concentrating on certain muscles groups, and you can lift quite heavy weights, and you can lift them quite safely. If something happens, there's always like someone to catch it, and the risk of damaging yourself is minimized. It's not eliminated, but it's minimized. In Hojo Undo supplementary exercises, in what we do, we obviously don't lift like really heavy weights at first, but we do it lightly. But we train not just a particular set of muscle, we train a group of muscles. And I like to think of it as a functional exercise because everything that we do in supplementary exercises, it's to do with karate, it's to do with certain movements. It's not wasted on it's not an aesthetic thing, it's not looking good, it's functional, it's useful.
Correct.
It's everything is there's a purpose to it. It's not just going to a gym for gym's sake. It's not doing Hojo Undo for Hojo Undo's sake. It's doing it for a certain reason. And that reason is to make your karate better, make your martial arts better, make your understanding of karate your application of karate better.
Mm.
So that's what I understand from that those type of equipment that we use.
I agree with you because it's the same thing that we actually do the same thing for Kung Fu because we do something similar to you guys like the thing.
Yeah.
We also do something like weighted bars
Mm.
and for the first 5 to 10 years we actually focus a lot on that because we all know that martial art is an art of war.
Yeah.
So if you do not have functional strength, nothing matters.
Yeah.
You can be fast, you can hit me 10, 20 times. All I need is to, if I can hit you 10, 20 times, but if you're stronger than me in some aspect, you hit me one time, I'm dead. We learned that the hard way in Smash.
Mm.
So it's like, we got this quiz, like I hit him 10, 20 times, he was smiling, and then he gave me one bloody kick, and then I was like, okay, that's the end.
Yeah.
So that functional strength is really, really important. So what you say was very true because a lot of people go gym, they focus on aesthetic, they look good, but when you come to play with people who are trained in martial art, it's a different ball game. I'm not
Mm.
saying that gym is no good, but it's a
Mm.
different ball game. So what they're training for is what they want, but what we are training for is functional. So we use it for war.
Mm.
So yeah, so I probably just talk about a bit of conditioning.
Mm.
Uh, in Chinese Kung Fu, uh, conditioning is one of the three pillars of Kung Fu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first one is like you say, body conditioning, and that if we do not actually do a lot of body conditioning, we do body conditioning in the sense of the tanking. In Cantonese, is called the tanking. In English, we call it the tendon senior
Mm.
changing classes. So I'm
Mm.
sure you heard of something like that before, yeah?
Yeah, I was always heard of it, but I'm not. I keep hearing it, and I keep you tell me about it. You say I hear you
Yeah,
saying it, and I
yeah.
hear other people saying I read about it, but I don't actually understand what that is.
Okay. I'll come to that if you allow me.
Yeah, sure.
So, and then the second part is the side sweeping. It's called the bone marrow kung fu.
Mm.
Okay, so these two classes are one of the internal arts that
Mm.
Bodhidharma actually transmitted down a few thousand years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they are what they do for me, I'll come to that. And the third one is we do bone conditioning. Why we do
Mm.
that is because our bone is our structure.
Mm.
If our bones are not strong, we cannot hold out a fight.
Mm.
So, so if we go to fight with someone, if I'm going to clash with people who are very strong or hard, they have stronger bones than me, I'm going to break. And they're
Mm.
going to finish the game really quick.
Mm.
So we train to strengthen our structure. That is like you build a house, the structure is really very, very important.
Mm.
So we focus on muscular strength as well, like people go to gym and stuff. We focus on that, but we focus primarily on the bone, and
Mm.
we focus on the tendon, the
Mm.
ligament, and
Mm.
we focus on our teeth.
Yeah.
So if there's an old Chinese Kung Fu saying that 内练一口气 inside
Mm-hmm.
we practice our qi, 外练筋皮骨.
Mm-hmm.
So we practice our tendon. I train master too, but only 30%,
Mm.
20%.
I,
I
I,
focus.
I think the misconception about this for Western people is that when you say tendon training, is that you can't train tendons. Tendons are things that hold your bone and muscles together, and if you don't have those, you just fall apart.
Mm,
And they say you can't make tendons stronger because you can make muscles stronger. Um,
mm,
uh, and tendons you can make it more flexible, but I think
mm,
like you can't make it stronger, so because it's not a muscle. It's
mm,
just a
mm,
So what do you think about that? How do you explain that? Because it might be an interpretation problem, right?
In the Chinese class, yeah, you're right. They are partially wrong to say that because yes, muscle is stronger because muscle is the external, what you call it, the vast. Okay, that is guided by the fascia and guided by the tendon.
Yeah.
So the ratio is that. Let's look at spider web. Okay, are they strong? Spider web. Yeah.
Spider web. Yeah,
they are very strong, right?
For spider,
yes, they're very strong. Yeah, but they are soft.
Yeah,
they're very soft. You can't break them.
Yeah,
a rib is very strong.
Yeah,
you can't break a rib.
Yeah.
So the tendon inside the muscle, the ratio, if you have 3 hours, if you have 3 times the strength of the tendon strength, your muscles is going to be multiplied by another 3 times. So the ratio is like 1 to 3. It makes sense to you?
Yeah.
So for example, like.
Go.
So what's your question?
No, carry on.
So for example, like I build a very strong muscles, okay? That I'm very strong, I can lift 100 kilo dumbbell. But my muscle is too big with the dumbbell. But if I train my tendon to be very strong, I can still lift the same amount of strength, the same amount of weight in the dumbbell without having big muscles.
Yeah.
So that's what we mean by functional strength.
Okay.
And second,
yeah. Well, that's interesting because you see people on you watch like reels and stuff on the internet, and you see people like Anatoly, is a kind of prank bodybuilder. He's really, really strong and he's not big. So the one thing he shows in his pranks, which is funny, but also there's some
yes, there's something else inside.
We can take back. He's not big. He's not big muscle. He's quite in terms of bodybuilding. It's quite thin, but he can lift weights just like that.
Oh man, amazing!
As heavy as the biggest bodybuilder you see.
That's right. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So yeah, but so he I don't know. He's not big, but he's strong.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying, right?
Exactly. That is what I think he found the key. So he incorporate the best of the tendon and the muscle together. Yeah. So if the tendon is like so a P, you know your muscle is going to be like this. So if the tendon is like this, you know that your muscle is going to be. But at the same time, it's not going to be big. It's just going to be. We call it 内功. We call it internal strength.
Yeah.
So this is very important about conditioning. Very, very important. So a lot of people train to be big, and if we can make ourselves big inside, not big outside, I think that's more important than just being big outside.
So you're not training, you're not lifting a heavier and heavier weights to train the tendons. How do you do that? How do you make your tendons stronger?
Good question. Okay, I practice the tendon muscle training classes a lot during my younger days. So it's a series of exercise, basically on the foundation stage. It's 12 set of exercise that we follow according to the 12 meridian pathway. So the lock. So we follow that 12 meridian pathway to try to stretch the tendon. So once you stretch the tendon, we call it yat chun gan. Okay, the yat check leg. So in Cantonese, we translate it says if every inches of tendon that we stretch, we get another yat check is about, I don't know, what check is
1 meter. 1 meter?
Yeah, something like that. That check is we get a lot of strength for that. So but training the tendon it's not enough. So although we get a lot of power, we get a lot of strength, and what it does for us is that we can still do it even though when we are 60 years old, 80 years old, 100 years old. Imagine that if you are that strong, your tendon is that strong, that long, okay, at 30 years old. And when you're 80 years old, okay, it changed only a little bit. But your muscle will change a lot. But your tendon will not change. It still be very strong. And that's what we should be doing, because muscle and bone, which will go down a little bit. But the tendon will just be stronger and stronger. If you keep practicing it, okay, you don't age a lot. You just age gracefully. You don't age a lot. And if you have the power, you see some of the old master at 70, 80 years old. I know in Singapore there was an old master 95 years old. He was reading a 12-foot pole so easily. He was just showing all the power, bang, 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 bang. I was so impressed at 95 years old he could do that. How many people also can do that? No. 12 foot is really long, I think it's
So,
like
so,
probably...
so the Chinese classics for training tendon is those exercises. Do you have a set of exercises? Those exercises just stretching?
No. Okay, stretching is in the muscle tendon changing classes. Stretching is only one of it. You have to follow, okay, the pathway of the meridian points in our body. At the same time, you have to incorporate breathing technique. Because if you don't breathe properly, okay, you're going to get high blood pressure. Just like remember when we used to fight in mind, we hold our breath sometimes. And then we learn how to actually fight for 2 hours and you can breathe properly without getting too tired. So the breath is very important.
So will it be like is it a combination of stretching and applying not necessarily weight, but pressure against the muscle, as well as your stretching and then releasing, that kind of exercise? Or
sort of. So the tendon condition. So what it does is that when you practice this technique, those Yi, okay, what you will see is that you will achieve superhuman strength, and your stress tolerance is heightened. And when people hit you, you feel like it's like nothing. That's why you see. But it's different from when people do conditioning. Okay, I take the pain, and then I just deal with it. That is no good. Because by doing that, you're actually exposing your body to unnecessary injury. We have to have what you call that warranted injury. That means that we train to get injured, but we know this injury will lead to something bigger, not lead to something worse. Make sense?
So,
that's why
there's a fine line between injury and for gain and injury that's detrimental to your health, right?
Correct. That is a very important understanding, because there is a lot of people, they just train until they get injured. I say, okay, I put ice, just let it heal for 1-2 days. That is not healing properly. So in Chinese medicine, especially we do our conditioning for our bones, for example, or we do our whatever. We always use a special lotion, right? The herbal lotion called Tazao. We use that a lot to heal. So if we train tendon, for example, I will do a lot of training as well, and all these things are very essential. For conditioning.
I use ointment because you said it to me, and I also use ointment from other people as well, and they have it in Hong Kong, and I go to Da as well, bone setters, and I think you're right. I think that ointment it promotes. I think it promotes circulation.
Not only that.
So and circulation helps you repair quicker.
Correct.
So for example, and I find that you can apply lotion, or you can move the muscle. So a lot of people who get injured, maybe a bruise or something, they go, oh, I'm bruised. I want to rest for a week or something until it goes. It goes in the end. It goes away. But if I tell them that yeah, it goes away, or you can apply ointment, or you can go, let's say, you go do some movements, do some exercise, because that helps you to heal faster.
Correct. I agree.
I think
that is important.
To and that is similar in that one of them promotes circulation without you doing exercise. The other one, if you do exercise, you also circulation as well. Yeah.
It does not only heal you. The data is also important that it also make you stronger. It make your inside, your tendon, your bone more consolidated.
Yeah.
At the same time, without having that, what you call that pressure on your organ and pressure on your muscle, it's like a whip. It's strong, but it's not compressing on your internal, because you know that anything that is compressed too much, is sooner or later your body will just break down. And I think a lot of martial artists, athletes, as you can see over the last 10 years, 20 years, and with the rise in recent, you see a lot of people just die from training with reasons unknown. So in Chinese Kung Fu, we call that 着火养猫.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, because it's really very sad to see this, but we can't do anything about it, because they just follow the wrong way of. I'm not saying they're wrong, but it's just that I don't know how. It's so sad to see them like this. If they have that what you call that martial art Bible in them that help them to heal, I think they won't have died.
I mean, there's a lot to be said about
that's what I said. Yeah.
Teaching medicine as well. And learning medicine, learning how to heal body, and not just. I think there's benefits to learning the Chinese medicine as well, because it doesn't. It's not. I think maybe one of the things about Western medicine is they look at symptoms, look at something that's happening, and then try to cure that symptom rather than curing possibly the cause of that problem. I see that with because I've been to Chinese medicine, medical doctors as well, and I have friends who does like Chinese massages for medical purposes, and they have one that's actually is a Shitoryu teacher, and he's also qualified Chinese masseur, and does the Chinese medical massage, and he also teaches Japanese to learn how to fight. And he when I have injuries and I tell him, and he comes and he goes, oh, let me have a look, and he doesn't just look at the symptoms, he looks at where the cause is and treats the cause. So for example, I currently have a problem with my shoulder. I think it's a rotated. I thought it was a rotator cuff impingement, or a tendonitis. I don't think it's a tear, but I'm not sure. I'm having an MRI. I don't think it's serious. He does, and I showed it to him, and he looked at it and he goes, "Oh, it doesn't look like a tear. It may be it's to do your tendons, because there's a tendon that goes from all the way pulls all the way down to your forearm." And I had problems with my forearm before, so what he does, so he goes, he doesn't massage the pain, the point of the pain, which is my shoulder. He massages and massages my arm, a tendon that goes on my arm, my forearm and my arm, and that actually gives relief to the shoulder.
Correct.
So I mean, I've also went to a doctor, and doctor goes, "Oh, you got to concentrate on the shoulder." And they go, "Oh, you got to look at the shoulder, look at the way your shoulder's moving and stuff." And you go to YouTube and stuff, and you look for information. It's all about the shoulder, and sometimes it's not about the shoulders. Sometimes it's about maybe an injury along the tendons along the arm, so away from the source. So that's I understand that from what you're saying, that your Chinese medicine and healing and how important it could be compared to Western medicine.
Yes, it's very important, because all these, like what your friend doing and what am I doing, is that all these are ancient wisdom from few thousand years ago that was applied in the art of war. That all the soldiers, they have to fight the next day, otherwise they get killed. So they have to heal by the next day. So they devise method to heal the soldiers, like what your friend did for you. So if you focus on the shoulder, which is not wrong, but if you primarily just focus on the shoulder, you're not going to get what you want, or maybe you get half of what you want. So he was right. So this is what we do. I do the same thing too.
That's experience, and that's probably something that I like. I don't have I'm not qualified Chinese doctor.
No, you learn a lot because you learn a lot when people touch you, and you interact a lot. So that's also another form of experience as well.
But what you're using, what you're doing is useful as well.
Okay, for me, okay. Right, lately I have been doing a lot more internal training. Okay, I'm working on my tendon and working on my bone. So as you can see from my videos that I start to do a bit of breaking and stuff like that. And the breaking is a test of how far I can go. So I learned to condition my bone, and I think this is very important because we need to build strength in the bone and not just the tendon itself. So this is called the internal training. You can't see that I'm not big. I'm just about the same size as you. So it's very important if we build our bone conditioning. We reduce the risk of falling. Even before we are not afraid, we don't break easily. And we reduce or maybe eliminate osteoporosis. Or bone disease. So I think that's what we do. And also when we spar with younger guys, people half our age. Their bones is definitely going to be more supple than us. Our bones is going to be harder. But we make sure that we don't break easily. So that's why we do conditioning. That is so important. And also that is what you call it, a disadvantage in training bone conditioning. So I would like to highlight that because when you do bone conditioning, the energy is drawn from the kidney. So you can, just like you say, you cannot just focus on taking calcium or just strengthen the bone. We must also work on the kidney function so that the kidney can make your bone stronger. So that is very, very important.
How's the kidney connected to the bone? How's that?
Okay. Okay. If we look at Chinese medicine principle, we know that our each specific organ that control a certain part. For example, our nose is controlled by our lung. Okay. And if people with skin disease, we know that they can have lung problems. And people with swelling feet, we know that there's something wrong with the spleen or something wrong with the kidney and the heart. So our hair, the quality of our hair, the quality of our nails, the quality of our bone, it all comes from the quality of your kidney. So in Western medicine, you say, your kidney blood test is fine. But in Chinese medicine, we look one step ahead. We go, we are more strict. So we don't just say, okay, your kidney is fine, it's working. We don't look at that. We make it even better. It's just like, it's very, very important. So what is the end result? That you find that you got thicker hair. For me, I have no hair, I'm sorry. So like your beard is going to be thicker. Okay, every time I rub, sometimes I get prick, I get cut. And then your nails is so hard that sometimes for me, I have to use like maybe 3 inches of nail clipper. Or maybe that much, maybe. Normal nail can't cut my nails. So this is what I know that I'm going the right way. So that is why important that you need to have maintained kidney health.
So how do you maintain kidney health? What do you do? to maintain that.
Okay, good question. You know, there is few things that we do to, first of them is diet.
Yeah.
Okay. I took kidney herbs. Okay, we took some herb to maintain to nourish our kidney. And you know, like Chinese people, we like to drink our soup.
Yeah.
So we use goji berries in our soup. We use
Yeah.
red dates. So all
Okay.
these are part. Yeah, these are part that
Okay.
we do. Yeah, correct. And and uh and then if we have proper food or proper herbs that go into our body, then the body say, okay, I have resources to nourish my kidney. And then you start practicing energy like the tendon classic exercise, changing classic exercise. You actually fire up those nutrients to be absorbed by the kidney even better.
Mm.
Then your kidney gets stronger, and then you will transmit all this energy to your bone, to your hair,
Mm.
to your strength, your energy level. So that's what. Is that what I understand? You were asking?
Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. So the way you train, you maintain good kidney health is through your diet, mostly. Yeah.
Correct. But that, having said that, we do not also neglect other organs as well.
Yeah.
Because they are all related. For example, you say, I'm going to look after my kidney. I don't worry about my heart. My heart good.
Yeah.
Then you're going to your feet is going to boom stress up because you know
Right.
that the organ must have a communication line. It's like they need to talk to each other.
Right.
It's just like husband and wife thing. If you don't talk to your wife enough, you don't understand your wife, then something going to happen at home.
Right.
Something. So it's like the kidney needs to talk to the organ, to the heart. The kidney needs to talk to the liver because the
Mm.
liver store blood. I say if there's not enough blood, then the kidney say I'm not going to do much work because there's not enough blood.
Right.
So this is how it works.
Okay. So it could be quite complicated.
Yeah, that's why I say but when we do our martial art training, my teacher, my sifu used to say, okay, this is what you need to do. You need to have more stamina. So you need to be on your your nei chi, your breath.
Mm.
So your breath is not a lot of people they build up their lung power.
Yeah.
They continue to build up their lung power, but no. In Chinese medicine, yes, lung is important, but we be on a dantian.
Yeah.
Just like in karate, you call it dantian also.
Yeah.
Right? You be on your dantian, that is your diaphragm or your umbilicus,
Yeah.
something like that. Then we build on that dantian, and then on a high level, we understand that we have multiple dantian. It's like we have
Yeah.
different chakra. So the dantian, the real dantian is everywhere.
Yeah.
It can come from the feet. It can come
Right.
from the dantian. It can come from the head. It can come from your brain. It can come from your elbow. Everywhere is your dantian, and that is
Yeah.
one thing that we train to
Right.
put all these dantian together, and they will become one big energy source.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, because I think the issue with trying to explain um, uh, Chinese medicine, Chinese martial arts ideas to Western people is that we use a lot of words that doesn't necessarily translate properly.
Yes.
So when you say dantian in the feet, they get confused. Your
Yes.
the center of your gravity, the center of you.
Style voodoo.
It goes. How can it be in your feet? How can it be in your hands? How can it be in your head? Uh, they understand central gravity is a few 3 inches below your navel for the human body mostly. So it's difficult to translate. For me, when I want more stamina when I'm sparring, I can usually fight a lot of people. No, I mean not like no no really serious hard sparring, but no semi-friendly sparring, and I can go many rounds without stopping. And I think one of the key things I did for this is body conditioning and breathing and in sanchin breathing when I'm and I'm the way I explain it is that I'm training when you go running and you're not a very good runner or you don't run that often, you get stitches, and your stitches is made basically because your diaphragm is having a spasm because it's getting tired. Yeah, your diaphragm is the main muscle that helps you. If you're having spasm, you can't breathe, and you go it hurts. So in Sanchin, what we do is when you say taking the breath into a dantian below, physically your breath doesn't go below, doesn't go outside your lungs. It just goes into your air, goes into your lungs. That's the only place to hold your air, right? Air, physically air, not chi, right? So, but what I'm doing is that when I'm breathing, I'm restricting my breathing so that my diaphragm pulls down harder. So breathing in, I'm restricting my breathing, and my dantian has to pull really hard to create that partial vacuum to pull air in. So my diaphragm, that muscle, hopefully gets stronger because it'll pull really hard down. And then when it breathes out, I'm also restricting. So it has to push really hard against the lungs to push the air out. And that also increases your strength of your diaphragm. So that's hopefully when you're doing exercises and you're doing quite strenuous exercises, and you're breathing in and out quite hard, your diaphragm doesn't spasm. It gets stronger, and your breathing gets easier. That's how I see it, and so that's how I explain to the guys that train with me. Rather than I don't.
That's really good. Very good scientific explanation.
I don't say dantian here or there or chi, whatever. I just say physically this is what's happening, and this is the reason why you do it, because that's easier to explain than to say. For me, it's easier to explain to use labels and words that doesn't translate physically to Western people. But there is, I think there is benefits to explaining some stuff in the way the Chinese people explain it, because it's more maybe sometimes it's more accurate because that is exactly what it feels like rather than physically. Maybe that's the reason why they use the words like these, because physically, maybe physiologically, they're not like Western doctors don't take it apart and see the individual organs and feel it, and then that's maybe a feeling kind of word, maybe.
Okay, for the chi that you just mentioned, okay, if we actually look at the principle in the bone marrow kung fu, it talk a lot of there was a whole chapter that is dedicated to that.
Right.
So one of highest level of the bone marrow kung fu and the chi cultivation is that you will get excellent stamina.
Yeah.
And thought of that on a spiritual level, because we cultivate the spiritual level, we will bring you to a higher platform that we call that you can actually cultivate our primordial spirit. In Chinese we call that Yin San. In Canada we call Yin San.
Right.
So in Kung Fu or in Karate we call that the spirit. So we have very strong spirit. But this Yin San goes beyond that. So it can help you to go if you are Buddhist or you believe in reincarnation, believe there is someone up there, that we actually are able to bring that spirit up to that level. And we are in a different format. But having said that, physical combat, if you see there's a lot of bullshit in like using chi to fight. We know that they are not practical. But we use them to assist in our training and to bring our well-being to a different level. Yes, that is also conditioning, but we do it in a different way. So I find that it's a feeling for me is that by training my mind, I actually able to feel my opponents a lot better. Sorry, I'm just taking off my jacket. It's getting a bit warm here. So I use it I'm doing a lot more meditating, and I feel that it has helped me to feel my opponent a lot better.
Mm.
You know, even by touching hand, especially like you like with push hand, with judo, and then when I touch them, I try not to use force because at 56 years old, fighting with 20 years old guys, 30 years old guys is no joke. They are stronger than me. So I try to use this energetic conditioning, this energy, to try to merge with them. So if I can do that, I'm actually stronger than them. That makes sense? For example, maybe I put another example. For example, you are let's say 80 kilos. I'm 60 kilos. Or okay, let's say you're 80 kilos. I'm 50 kilos. You know that for 80 kilos, they are always a bit. They're stronger. In most cases, they are stronger than a 50-kilo guy. Size does matter. So I'm not gonna beat you. It's hard. It's very hard. But if I can use your 80 kilos and plus my 50 kilos, I'm 120 kilos. Now I'm bigger than you. So I have an advantage of you. I'm not saying that I may beat you, but I definitely have an advantage with you. If you throw in things like technique, you throw in things like that, I'm definitely going to be stronger than you. So that's what I'm trying to
do. Yeah, that's what karate does as well. You're not looking at you're looking at maximizing your own ability, maximizing your own force, your own power, your impact, your with the body that you have, with the skill that you have, and maximizing it on the weakest part of your opponent to make it more effective.
Yes, and also to borrow the energy from the universe, from the cosmos. Okay, we call it Canadian, we call it Yin Qing. We borrow the energy from them to enhance our power. We have an advantage.
Yeah, for me, I just rely on my own training.
I think it will be interesting because as we age, we don't get younger. We can actually learn new things that we can incorporate into our current arsenal of weapons. And make us better, make us look younger, make us look stronger, without compromising our health. Because at the end of the day, you want to train to be healthy. But at the same time, you want to be strong. You don't want to be strong and then you say, oh, gee, I got that problem, I got this problem, I got this, blah, blah. I don't want all this. It's no good. Yeah,
I agree.
So I can send you a couple of videos. I can put it online and then show you some of the exercise that you guys can actually try to copy. But if you all want to know a bit further, happy to keep in touch. And personally in Sydney, I do teach this to my patients. And I have helped a lot of my patients recover themselves. Help them to, they can use it to heal themselves. So the oldest patient that I have is 75 years old. And I have patients like who do all kinds of qigong, like 5-element qigong, this qigong, that qigong. So when I introduce the I Ching to them, they were quite blown away, and they wish they had actually learned better. Because the way I teach, I customize it for them. I don't just teach you a format and tell you go and practice. So yeah, I'm happy to do it for you, my friend. Like you tell, if you could like find time with me and tell me what you need, I can actually make it easy. You're not going to eat up your karate training. So probably a couple of exercises that you tell me you need, and I think it will really help you a lot.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I will go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's move on to the next one. Okay. The next question is.
I think we covered a lot of the what, why, and how already, and personal.
Yeah,
right?
recover more. One of my personal experience is that I did when I was in Sydney. I have a lot of street fight,
Yeah,
and I was attacked by more than 10 people.
yeah,
And I did not know is that I actually sent them to hospital until the police tell me.
yeah.
And I was very surprised. And I realized that is because the power we have. And when they
Mm,
hit me, I didn't feel anything.
mm,
I feel like it was just a blast. It's just like people who are trained like you and me.
yeah,
And then if someone hit you, you feel like, oh, it's nothing, that kind of. But when you hit them, you feel it's
yeah,
nothing,
yeah,
but they feel a lot of things.
yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think
and
this is,
that's the benefits of training. I think conditioning and
yeah,
uh, I see that as well with beginners who've not fought before, or people who had some training, but when they punch, they don't punch properly. They don't punch hard.
correct.
And people who does not slight on people who does sports karate, but people who does sports karate who does only just kata, and it's a really good kata, and the form is really strong, really snappy. But it doesn't mean that they can punch or kick.
Yeah.
And if someone who's conditioned, and they do that to you, if you're conditioned and someone does that to you, and you can easily feel that the punching and the kicking isn't very hard. It just does nothing. It's not effective. Yeah.
That's
So
why we have to be mindful.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, I had to charge my phone a little bit. It's a bit weak.
Yeah.
So, I think, yeah, so basically that was really and
Yeah.
I
Can't
hope
hear you.
what that I hope that is what you I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Yeah.
Uh, if there's anything else to ask me, I'm happy to cover it with you at all.
I think I'm losing.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. And I'm
So
losing.
yeah, thank you. And also yeah, I got ultimately what I believe is whatever conditioning we do,
Yeah.
we have to be mindful because we know that a lot of friends we know that
I think connection's a bit slow. Like losing.
uh, uh,
Can't.
okay, is it better now? Is it better now?
Yeah, better.
Is it better? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh you see, conditioning is often neglected with a lot of people that we know as well, like some of our training partners.
Mm,
They focus a lot on technique, which is really important,
yeah.
but they forgot about the real importance of conditioning.
Mm,
And so when they actually go into sparring or real fight, a lot of them get really hurt, and that put
yeah.
them out of action for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think with some of our friends are very prone to that.
Yeah.
So this video, I hope that they will understand better and try to dedicate a bit more time to conditioning.
Yeah.
Because fighting is not everything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, a lot of people who come and train with me, they and the people who come aren't always complete beginners. They're like quite senior, and they might come to me with different objectives. Some of them might be still sports, tournament fighting. They want to be faster. They want to be quicker. And, they want to win more and stuff like that. And I always tell them that um, I can't necessarily make you go faster. I can't necessarily make you win more tournaments. But I can definitely make you feel less pain. Because from condition, right?
That's a good one.
Right? Because pain is one of these factors in a fight, whether it's sparring, tournament sparring, or real sparring, or full contact sparring. Because if you feel pain, your speed will definitely be affected,
Correct.
and you'll definitely probably lose if you feel pain, your power. But if you don't feel pain, then you can work on the other stuff. It's easier.
That's a good one.
Right?
That's what Yi Jing and Bone Marrow Kung Fu teach you.
Yeah, that's why that's why I tell the people who come up. I always say they always say there's three things that people are scared of when they're fighting. They're always scared of losing. They're always scared of not being fast enough, and they're always scared of pain. So I can always do the third one. The first two, not necessarily I can guarantee, but the third one I can guarantee you feel like.
I think it's like we are guilty of that because we are also afraid of losing all the time. But when in the classic, and when I was reading the classic, okay, we always say that the real problem that we face in martial art training is often us.
Yeah.
I say if you can let hit you a little bit, just take it easy, we are hot headed before, that we are all guilty of that. So just let it be, but of course that will build up our reflexes and response. That's what training is about. We find the gap, but not at the point of you killing me, I killing, but we try to find our weakness and make it even improve on our weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is very important. Like you're very right, man. I tell my students, I say, I may be able to make you stronger, but I can make you feel that you improve, but you got to practice, you got to come training, I can teach you all the things. But I cannot make you a world champion. I cannot make you world champion. I cannot make you like a super street fighter. I can't do that, But if you want to do that, go ahead,
Yeah. I world champion. I envy people who make people world champion. There's a certain things we can learn from them, is that the coaching techniques and how they teach. That's quite important. How to teach people properly in a systematic manner.
That's a gift.
To make it more effective for them, and understanding what their objectives are is important. Not everyone wants to fight. Not everybody wants to be a full contact champion. Not everyone wants to be a self-defense expert.
Correct.
And some people just do it for fun. So you need to know what they're doing it for. What's the objective?
I hope you're not turning your lawyers into killers.
Some of them are very hard.
Really?
One.
Okay, you did a good job then.
Yeah, some I don't want to fight for it.
Make sure they don't do it in court.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's the weather there now?
So it's nice and sunny today. I'll be training soon in 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Some people coming up to train.
Wow. So you know what I envy about you?
Yeah.
So nice. Yeah. You got a space from your own.
The guy who's coming is actually living in Sydney. So he's
oh, okay. Do I know him?
So, probably not. He's a karate guy.
Okay.
But, yeah. So he's going to come up and do some training with me, and then going back to Australia next week.
You see, that's something I really envy. One day I wish I could pick a place like you, a warehouse or a rooftop or whatever. I convert that into what you're doing.
Well, you have a garden.
Well, you're thinking.
You have a garden.
Yeah, I'm thinking. So my garden is too small. My wife actually took it, so I don't have. It's not mine.
I know people who has the dojo in the driveway. Yeah, so people use whatever space.
A driveway.
Yeah.
Wow.
People use whatever places they have. No.
Yeah, it must be real. I don't have space. I'm trying to make space. So, my dog owned, the old house. My dog owned the backyard to shit. So on the side, I have to do like a shack to make space and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then the one I'm staying is like the garden doesn't belong to me.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I have limited space.
Yeah. Just make do what you got. Make do what
That's
you
all I
got.
can do.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you
Thanks.
for today.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you. I send my regard to Lana.
I will. Yeah.
Now.
Okay. Talk again soon.
Okay. All right. Nice talking to you. You speak again. Thank you, Kam. Thank you for your time, and I really appreciate you taking this time to catch up. And
Thank you, Mickey.
in future, you'll catch up more. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.